Yes, guys. Ryjack back with another stream today. I do apologize for being a bit late. My technical difficulties had to be resolved. It took me some time. I cannot lie. It took me over an hour to figure out what was going on with my stream. Arteta Hate University says, Big up. What's up, bro? How are you doing? I believe, unless you're a new name, that is the first time I've seen you in the stream before. So, welcome in for sure. At the moment, the course of the evening is to discuss City Liverpool a little bit. Get your thoughts in the chat as always, and we can go over the game a bit. We've got City in the title race. Are we not in the title race to discuss? And then Fulham, and maybe a little lineup builder for the Fulham game as well. So, we should maybe wait a bit for a couple more people to join the stream, some of the usuals. Let's see here. What's good, bro? I'm an Arsenal fan. I want to get to know you more. When did you start supporting City? Ooh, long time ago. Probably 2014-ish, right around the World Cup. I do get this question quite a bit. Right around the World Cup was that when I started really enjoying the sport. And I'm obviously from the US. I didn't really have a team. And KDB, I really liked for Belgium. And then he went to City eventually, and that kind of was where I became a City fan. Plus, I knew Manchester United were like the biggest, best team around, and I didn't want to be a fan of that club. So they were all City were their biggest rivals that I knew of at the time, and that's also part of why I picked Manchester City. So it is kind of funny now that we're dominating them, but anyway, yeah, that is kind of what's my City story in a way. When is your Viking going to start showing up? Although I don't want him to. I mean, he showed up against Liverpool. To be fair to him, he did show up against Liverpool. He has been in some poor form. I won't say that he's been amazing when he hasn't. It wasn't great yesterday, but he's almost like a moments guy. And City are, in a way, a moments team this year, where we might not have fantastic performances all over the place every week, but on occasion, there's a player that can pop up with a moment of magic. Like Ryan Cherky is more of a moments player. Haaland is very uninvolved for long periods of games, and then he'll pop up with a goal or pop up with an assist like he did against Liverpool. And you think back on it and you're like, wow, he didn't really do much. But at the end of the day, he had an assist and he had a goal. And the goal was the match winner. And the assist was, 84th minute to get us back in the game. So it's interesting. It's interesting. It's different. It's different. It's different with this City team. We don't quite have the same level of, how should I say, we don't have the same level of top quality that we probably used to have. So, it's different this year. We're a different type of team this year. I asked a lot of City fans this, and I know your team is up and down, but do you have any confidence you will make Arteta leave the league? Do I have any confidence you'll make him leave the league? As in get sacked? Is that what you're getting at? I don't know that Arsenal will sack Mikel Arteta. I feel like City are not obviously going to run away with this trophy. And if we somehow do win the Premier League, it's surely going to be very, very close. Like, I don't know, 89 points to 87 points or 87 to 85. Even if it's low 80s, 85, 83, something like that. Surely you cannot sack a manager who is getting you that many points. Like, especially depending on how they do the Champions League as well. You never know. You could see like a good Champions League run from Arsenal. Obviously, they went 8 for 8 in their Champions League games. So I don't really think they're going to sack him. Now, if they absolutely bottle it and blow it and have nothing going on for them, then I guess you kind of, if you drop to third somehow, it might make sense to sack the guy. But I don't really see that happening. Arsenal are supposed to be the biggest, baddest, best team in Europe. So I would be shocked if they sacked Arteta. Ash Kuhn says, big up, Ride Jack. What's up, man? How are you? Where's the hat? Good question. I honestly don't know. I don't know where the hat is. I had it earlier. and I've misplaced it, but I wanted to stream, and I know I don't have my hat on like I typically do, but I honestly have no idea where it is. I have no idea where it is. So you guys get to see my natural hair today, my slicked back look. It's very different. I know I'm typically the backwards hat guy, but this evening I have misplaced the hat, unfortunately. I don't know what's going on with the Discord. The Discord is supposed to automatically send an alert, and I had to manually send the alert today. So I have to look into that. I have to figure out why my Discord is not following the rules I have set for it. But whatever. It is what it is. No big deal. I do see some more people joining the stream, so as always, welcome in everyone. If you are new, do hit like, do hit subscribe. Appreciate it. We're on the road to 1,000. We're like 30 something subs away from 1,000, so that'll be really cool. I think we should start with this Liverpool game. And if you were here for the live watch along, I do want to say thank you. Live watch along was nice and successful. Got a lot of views, got a lot of interaction in the chat, and the chat is what makes streaming fun, guys. The chat is the best part because I get to chop it up with some of my friends and the community that we've built. So I really appreciate when the chat is involved, of course. If you beat us in the final, do you think your team can go ahead and finish us off? I mean, I would say yes, absolutely. Surely if City can win this final Carabao Cup, they can overtake Arsenal. Now, it does depend a little bit because the game is 6 weeks away from now. City could drop off and it could be over, in 2 weeks. If we lose to Fulham and you guys win and it's back to 9, you never know. I'm not predicting that we'll fall off, I don't think, but surely there is a world where we're 8 or 9 points back at that point. And even a win in late March in a cup final, I don't know that that's enough to overturn 9 points exactly, That feels unlikely to me. But I would lean towards it will be close-ish by then. So we'll see. We'll see, guys. We'll see. I hope we are, neck and neck. It'd be great. A great title run for the Premier League, for like the neutral. For me, of course, I want to stay in it as long as I can. It's weird though because City, like this City team we have a good performance and then we have a bad performance, and the fan base thinks all the players are really good, and then next week everyone needs to be sold and the team needs to be nuked and completely start over. So the team is very strange at times. At times the team is all over the place, the fan base. So it's like a roller coaster this season. We're very up, very down. All over the place. And I was just saying about this Liverpool game, it's weird because, again, our struggles continue of lack of second half performances. If you look at the first half, I mean, the momentum chart, which I always say, the momentum chart is not everything. It's not everything because it was 0-0, 0-0 at halftime. City had dominated. The second half is dominated by Liverpool as well, and we end up winning the game. So clearly the momentum chart is not everything. It's not the most important thing. So, but if you look, like, this massive swing right here is where we win the game. So that's just how it goes sometimes. But it is concerning that this continues to happen in the second half. And I know people always say, what is Pep saying at halftime? I don't think he's going in there and saying, completely lose control, give him the ball the whole second half, don't do anything off it. You know what I mean? It's something else. It's something else. Last week, I thought the title race was over. This is what I mean. Like, we get to a point where we drop points, Arsenal win, and the whole fan base is like, this is over. We're done. It's over. Stick a fork in us. End it now. Like, just put us out of our misery. And then Arsenal drop points, and we win, and it's like, it's back, baby. We're back. So it's kind of, I don't know. It's weird. Solid Leo says, I just hope we could use the booster from Liverpool game to push all the way through. I think there is a world where this happens. We have a decent-ish run of games here. It's a hard-fought, emotional win where we actually showed some fight and people had been somewhat questioning people's fight and effort, which is sad, but it's hard not to say that about some certain players over the last couple of 6 weeks or so since the turn of the year. But maybe that win, dramatic, at Anfield, brings the boys together, and they push on. So I back it. I back it solidly. The hair looks nice. Thank you, Spartacus. I do appreciate that. I have no idea where my hat is. I had it an hour ago, and I misplaced it, and I didn't want to go look for it. I just wanted to stream. Now I think otherwise, says Ash. You know what, Ash? I'm with you. I think the title race is back on, and it's more fun if the title race is on anyway. Also, Ash, you're in here quite often, so I think a mod is deserved. So there you go. You are a mod. Wield your power wisely, and do your duty as a mod on the channel here. So if we want to talk about individual performances in this Liverpool game, I was mentioning earlier, it's very weird because it feels like we're a bit of a moments team where Haaland doesn't really have a great game, but he gets an 8.4 man of the match on FOTMob because of the 10-minute stretch he has where he scores and gets an assist. Marmoush, semi-off game, wasn't great. Should have probably done better on the long ball from Semenyo, where maybe he's got to stick a foot in there, stick his head in there, go for that ball, try to round Alisson and score, but he kind of just shies away. So I don't really like that personally. Semenyo also, I don't really think worked in this role particularly. I feel like he's so much better either out and out on the wing or at this one of these two positions. So I don't know if I back this. I mean, this was a bit more of a 4-1-3-2 than the 4-2-2 that we've been doing, and that's kind of what you get with Bernardo because he's just all over the place the whole time. So I don't know that I like Semenyo in this position. Maybe you can rotate Semenyo and Marmoush and then run Haaland, especially if Haaland is going to be scoring again. You got to play Haaland, of course. Absolutely, Ash. Absolutely. Well deserved. Well deserved for your loyalty in the chat, as always. Bernardo, shout out Bernardo, man. One of his best games. For me, I think he's the man of the match. And I actually posted a short about Bernardo today, I don't know, 2 hours ago, maybe. And it was a question of, do we extend Bernardo's contract? There's been a narrative, I'll say, online where Bernardo is somehow not what he used to be. It's time for him to move on. But then again, he's having some really good performances since January. Like if you look at the green ratings, which I know the ratings are somewhat flawed, but I mean he's been putting in really good performances. I think everyone can agree for the most part he has been extremely beneficial in the team. Leo agrees. Louis, welcome. He says, yes, still surreal beating Liverpool even now. Absolutely, man. I honestly cannot believe we won at Anfield. It is remarkable. I'm a bit old. I'm 28 years old, but I didn't watch back in 2003. I was 5 years old and, didn't watch soccer until my teenage years. So really, it's my first time I've ever seen us win at Anfield with fans. I remember the one of the COVID one, but that was nothing, really. That was nothing. Doesn't really count. Semenyo needs a bit sitting and let Doku cook, but not fully benched. Him disrupting his flow. Doku coming back will be big. I don't know what his injury situation is, but I do agree. Doku coming back will allow some more options. I like that idea for sure. So Bernardo, I mean, the guy started 21 games this year, played in 25. He's got one Prem goal. He's never really been a goal scorer, particularly. I mean, if you look at his numbers, last year he played 50 games, had 5 goals. Year before that, 12, and that's his second best output ever. 7, 5, 8, 13, 9. He's never really been a humongous goal getter or assists even. He's only had double-digit assists. He actually got it in his first 3 years, but only once since his first 3 seasons. So I feel like he's just so intangibly rich, so intangibly strong that even at the age of 31, he will be 32 next year, I could see him filling in a very good role next year. Now, part of me wonders, do we trap ourselves a bit in this Bernardo thing where, yes, he's been awesome, yes, he's a club legend, but do you hang on to your club legends too long and then you see him become the villain? And I don't want that to happen. I don't want Kyle Walker to happen to Bernardo. And I don't think it's the same scenario exactly because Kyle Walker had the off the field stuff where it's like you're not really a good representative as a captain based on your sus behavior, I guess we can say. Bernardo is like to a T, a fantastic captain. Says the very, respectful, proper things in interview. Maybe not respectful, but very captainly things to say, I guess is how I would phrase it. And it feels like if he leaves now, he'd get a good send off, and we never approach that period of, wow, he is just absolutely washed and like get him out of the club scenario, which I don't like seeing for anyone, Like KDB leaving last year, obviously now it looks like the right decision. Imagine he's got a new 1-year deal, 400,000 a week, and he plays, but he's been injured for most of the year. He blew his hamstring again. It's just like, it's nice that we just need to, that he's doing that elsewhere in a way because he left on somewhat of a high playing well. Actually, I think Mahrez is probably the best example of like a legend leaving at a really good spot where he never at any point was like, this guy has lost his ability. So hanging on a bit longer than you maybe want to is somewhat of a problem, in my opinion. Keely, what's up, man? Ryjack and chat, good to see you. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Good to see you as always. Leo says, I'd love Bernardo staying for more for us, but you also get a point about legends becoming a villain. It just makes me think of The Dark Knight Rises, the movie, the quote. He says, you die a hero or live long enough to become the villain. And you don't want that. You don't want that for your legends. That's the best way I can say it. If you leave a legend, your legacy is unmatched, But if you overstay, it becomes like you maybe stayed a bit too long. And I think you'd rather leave a legend than stay too long. Which stinks, but I mean, it makes sense in my head. Ash says, we cannot replace him. To be fair, this guy's work rate and running and positional versatility is just ridiculous. Like, it will be difficult to replace him. For sure. There's some talk amongst City fans that maybe Phil Foden becomes the Bernardo replacement in, the relentless running, the positional versatility, can play deep, can play forward, can play on the wing. I don't know if I buy that, but I have seen that. I've seen that mentioned. Also, there's Elliot Anderson, who is just a, absolute dog workhorse for Forest. So those seem like probably the leading options to replace him. And it's probable that Bernardo just walks and goes back to Benfica at the end of this contract. So I don't know. Me personally, I'm leaning towards it's best if he just goes on high. Like, imagine we finish out the season great, we win the Premier League, or we win the Champions League or something, and he lifts a trophy, and then he's out. It's going to be hard to achieve better than that in a year, as a year older again, So, yeah, this is a fair point. Foden doesn't have quite the same dog in him as Bernardo, Maybe not the same IQ. Yeah, as Keely says, you can't replace Bernardo in any way. His football IQ is once in a generation. These players don't come by often. It is a fair point as well. It's not just a position you're replacing. It's like KDB in a way. You're not replacing KDB, the player. You're replacing the position on the pitch that KDB played with as good of a player as you can get. But he's never going to be KDB. And whoever becomes the new Bernardo is just not going to be as good as Bernardo was at peak because he's such a legendary player, which is fine. But if you can get a player who, is maybe a bit more of a goal threat or maybe a bit more of a creator in that position or a bit more, I don't want to say physical, but like Bernardo for his size is very physical. But like if you replace him with an absolute dog, physicality wise, you're not going to complain as well. and have the Pep in control of a player of this quality, we are beyond lucky. True, Pep is one of the greatest managers ever. As always, we all I think agree on that relatively. Pep himself has said Bernardo is one of the best players he's ever managed. So when you've managed guys like Messi, Xavi, Iniesta, Thierry Henry, KDB, like Ronaldinho, I mean, Pep ain't joking around. Like he's not just saying it to be nice, you know. That's a good point. I'm here for the Bernardo Glaze. Welcome, house captain. Good evening, yes sir. Grealish had it, but he had the piercing part. He's too much. True, true. Grealish had some Bernardo traits for sure, but didn't quite work out for Bernardo, unfortunately. I am a bit curious if I do this here. I wonder if this works. I'm still learning some things here. I'm kind of curious who are similar players to Bernardo Silva. If I pull him up on FB Ref, it should have players who essentially offer similar things to him, which I'm interested to see what they say here. FB Ref is slow as always. It always pulls up Bruno G because I had a massive hard on for getting Bruno G at the club, and I don't think that's happening anymore. Although there's some scuttlebutt out there on Twitter that City are gonna be interested in Bruno G once again. So we'll see. All right, let's see what we got. Come on. Where's my similar players here? Did they get rid of that? Used to be right here. Right here. Oh, advanced data is gone on FB Ref. Okay, well, never mind. Anderson and Tonali. I don't think both, personally, Louis. I think both are very good players, but I don't think that, unfortunately, is probably possible. Bruno G would have suited perfectly. Guys, I am a massive Bruno G fan. I love Bruno G, and I don't see it, man. I just don't think it's happening. However, Twitter says that there's allegedly a gentleman's agreement, which gentleman's agreements are absolute dog stupid. But if Newcastle don't get Champions League next year, he can leave for 80 million. That's a tweet that has been put out on Twitter by a big time news source, and they said City are the favorites if that's a thing, but United also want him. Does this No, it unfortunately does not. It does not. But it doesn't show the dog in Bernardo. That is unfortunately unmeasurable. Similar to Bellingham. You think Bernardo is similar to... or Bruno G is similar to Bellingham, maybe. I don't know. I'd take Bellingham. I know a lot of people hate Jude Bellingham, and they just despise him for some reason. Maybe it's the media coverage of Jude Bellingham. I think Jude is amazing. I think he's amazing, and I would absolutely 100% take him at City. I know people don't like him, though, so I get it. Settle down. Yeah, the Anderson and Tonali would be rather insane. I mean, similar to Bernardo. Jude Bellingham similar to Bernardo. I feel like Bernardo is different in terms of... He's not quite the goal scorer that Jude is, but I kind of see what you mean. Also, João Neves, a dog, man. João Neves would be a fantastic replacement. Can we actually afford João Neves? Would PSG sell him? I feel like no. But at present, it looks like Bernardo leaving and Elliot Anderson seems the most likely. Check Data MB. Data MB. Is that free or do you have to pay for that one? Let's check it out. Data MB. Search for a player. Bernardo Silva. There's his stats. And who can I compare him to? Jude Bellingham. Jude Bellingham this season. Where'd Bernardo go? Bernardo this season. Somewhat similar, to be fair. Somewhat similar. He's a little bit more forward passing, and obviously Jude's going to be better in duels because of his height. Progressive passes is the same, maybe a little bit better in terms of key passes and possessions won, but it's honestly it's not a bad call there. Not a bad call. Bernardo and Jude. How about Joao? How do you spell Joao? Joao Neves, PSG, 21 years old as well. Similar-ish. Not as good winning possession. Not quite as good progressive passing. Hasn't played as much though. He's a full like almost 1,000 minutes behind Bernardo. Maybe he's been injured. Who did I say? Elliot Anderson would be a good or at least he's the one at the moment. How the heck do you spell Elliot? Elliot Anderson. Anderson. There we go. Elliot Anderson. Wow, it's actually very different there. Not quite the key passes, but much more progressive passing. Very good on duels. Wins possession quite a bit. Doesn't carry the ball as much. Forward passes is way up. I don't know. He's a little bit less creative version, but more of a defensive stalwart in a way. Scroll down, it gives you similarities to Bernardo. Similar to Bernardo is someone I've never heard of. Jude last year. Zaire Emery, who I really rate. And then someone I've never heard of as well. Interesting. It's not bad. Yeah, keep in mind with Anderson, his stats are stacked due to being... Yeah. So defensive stats are always boosted a bit when you're on a poor team. For sure. And your goals are going to be down when you're on a poor team. Yeah, you're not discrediting him. I got you. But yeah, for sure. The stats are a bit skewed when you're on a team that's like fighting relegation. How about Bruno G? Where does he look? Not as much of a forward passer or a ball carrier, but what's the difference between a progressive pass and a forward pass? Or are they not basically the same thing? I don't know. He's not much of a ball carrier. He does more forward passing, but he passes backwards more often, I guess, is what we're looking at. I don't know. Some of these advanced stats are like, I don't know how helpful this actually is. You want to see Sandro Tonali? Not a very nice looking graph, I can't say. Yeah. I don't know. Anderson dual winning stats are clear of any midfielder in the league. True. Anderson's been playing a 6 most of the season, so it's maybe a bit off. Yeah. I don't know. How about another name that's been thrown around is Adam Wharton, Crystal Palace. Very different. Very skewed to this right-hand side where Bernardo is much more over here. Again, he's really good in duels, which is nice. He's winning 9. Does that mean he's winning 90% of his duels? That's ridiculous if that's... Or he's in the top 90th percentile in duels. That's probably what that means. Not winning 90% of his duels. Learning advanced stats with Ryjack here. My background is not in soccer, football, analytics whatsoever, guys. If you don't know by now, I was a basketball coach. So, like, I know the basketball advanced analytics. I worked in that for 8 years. I don't know all the good, useful, advanced analytics stats in this game at the present. I love watching the sport, and I'm much more of an eye test guy than an advanced analytics guy. And eye test says Elliot Anderson is a baller, and he's fantastic. Bruno G, baller, and is fantastic. How much we get if we get him for Forest get relegated? Honestly, if he gets relegated, he might have a relegation clause. You never know. Like, it could be under 50 mil. Like when Ake went down with Bournemouth, we got him for 40 or something. But who knows? I think he's probably going to go for like 60 to 70 as is. Magnus will be excited. Yes, guys, smash the like and subscribe button if you haven't already. We're 33 subs off of 1K, so that's very cool. Good work, Mod Ash over here. Very appreciate it. Wharton's stats are typical for a 6. Great deep-lying playmaker. Yeah, I mean, Wharton, guys. I do like Adam Wharton, but I feel like we don't need Adam Wharton like we need Elliot Anderson. Just for the depth in terms of positional versatility. Anderson can play 8. I don't know that Wharton can play 8. I feel like Wharton is a 6, an out and out 6. And Anderson can play both. And Anderson can even play on the wing a bit if needed. So I'm not sure. I had to use excited instead of you know what. You guys, man. You guys are funny. Okay, enough advanced analytics for me. Give me the eye test any day of the week. The good old eye test lets you know if a player is good enough or not. And all the players we looked at are obviously good enough. Jude is good enough. He's never going to leave Madrid for City. I wouldn't think. Bruno G would be awesome, but Anderson seems like the one for City. Now that was quite a big Bernardo tangent there. Semenyo, while we're on the topic of City against Liverpool specifically, Semenyo was not great. O'Reilly was fine. Rodri was decent to good. Nunez was awesome. Aït-Nouri was awesome. Guéhi was awesome. Kusanov got hurt. Donnarumma was awesome. That's what I go with. It's okay. If Rodri stays, then we won't be getting Wharton. Yeah, that's what I think as well. I just feel like we don't need Adam Wharton with Rodri and Nico G in the squad. Eye test for Anderson is an easy one. He's great to watch. He is fantastic to watch. One of the first games I actually got to really watch him was obviously against City. And I was like, man, this Anderson guy, he's everywhere. He's just all over the pitch all the time. It's incredible. He is a must, in my honest opinion, says House Captain. I agree, man. I agree. Absolute must. What did I think of Haaland? Haaland was basically non-existent for 70 minutes, and then the last 15 was very good. And that's kind of how it goes with Haaland. Like, he has very long moments of the game where he doesn't do much of anything, and then he can pop up with a goal any minute, and he got a great assist. So, all-around good performance for Haaland. That's kind of how I feel. Donnarumma, man, shout out with the save. I don't know if Spartacus is still in the chat, but I was wondering what he thought. I wonder if he was angry. Not really. That's a joke. Because a lot of people have their agendas, and whenever a player they don't like does well, they get mad, even if it's good for the team. I know you're not like that, Spartacus. I know you're not like that, but the thought did cross my mind. It was class against us. He tried to stand out too. You could see he was in the passes he was making. He was phenomenal against us. Phenomenal, guys. Phenomenal. Table-wise, we are 6 back with a chance to go 3 back because we do play before they do. Brentford, by the way, not going to be an easy one for Arsenal. I don't know if it's at Brentford. It looks like it's at Brentford. At Brentford, tough one. Brentford are playing, obviously, fantastically. They're in 7th, even with the Premier League champions Liverpool, and even on goal difference as well. Do not mention the D word. Oh, man. I think we should talk about the run-in of fixtures City have. I know, my bad, guys. I should just avoid mentioning GG. It's not a bad run of games, if we're being honest. We have 3 straight at home. You would like to think that's 3 W's, advancing in the Cup, in the FA Cup, and getting 6 points. Going to Leeds, going to Ellen Road could be difficult, but they're in 16th, 15th, whatever. If you're in a title race, you got to win that game. Then it's Forest, who are absolutely woeful, West Ham, who are awful, and Palace, who are now awful. So, right up until we play Arsenal in the Carabao Cup, which this game will get moved for sure. But assuming this game is put after, I guess maybe it's moved to midweek, but probably after the Carabao Cup. This should all be wins. If it's all wins and we go into Arsenal with that momentum, that's amazing. It's amazing. Crazy how Liverpool are behind United. I know, it is nuts. It is honestly insane seeing United get this high up the table after sacking Amram and getting Carrick. And it feels like Carrick has just been He just rolls the ball out and rolls the ball out for recess and is like, "Do your thing, boys. Press hard. Fight for the badge." And then they're much better. Whereas Amarim is over on his tactics board like, da, 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 and everyone's like, "What are you doing, bro? Why do you make it so complicated for us?" We have a great opportunity to rest and rotate some key players. Absolutely. Absolutely. Especially this Salford game. I mean, man, I'm hoping for massive rotations here. And then we get a full week off. Like, that's big time because we basically, whoever plays this game here is going to get 10 days off before this Newcastle game. And then we get a week again. And it's not back to a midweek game until here, March. So it is nice for sure. Only tough one is Leeds away. Leeds away, honestly, probably is the toughest game of this run in here to the Carabao Cup final, which is crazy, just crazy to think about. We do have Fulham though coming up, and it's obviously a must-win game, as all of these games essentially are. I am curious though what we do in terms of lineup. So pull up the lineup builder, and we can discuss as a chat, as a community, what we want to see. Obviously, Donnarumma is going to play, of course. What's the formation we'd be looking at? I honestly don't know. We just ran the, 4-1-3-2? We ran this, in a way. That's what we ran, pretty much. So, I don't know if we run this back. If maybe Doku is back as well, potentially. Again, if Doku is back and available, he probably doesn't start. So let's assume he's unavailable to start, I think. Starting Wednesday, we play before Arsenal play, a chance to apply pressure. True, yeah. If that continues, then you've seen Arsenal before. When City lose, Arsenal have a chance to win the game, and they blow it. So if we win and it gets to 3 points, mentally that's huge. I think this game should give us some confidence to try an unbeaten run until the final. Could really put pressure on Arsenal then. 100%. I agree with that. Nunez, Diaz, Gehi, Aït-Nouri, O'Reilly, Nico G, Tijani, Cherki, Marmoush, Ehrlich. So no Rodri for Louis here. Going on unbeaten run. Yeah. I got you. To try to on and I got you, Keely. I know what you meant. This is interesting. I agree with most of it. I don't know about Rodri though. I feel like Rodri wasn't amazing, but he was good. He was good against Liverpool. I think the center back is basically, bang on. It's going to be Gehi and Diaz because Husanov is injured and, we don't have any other options really. Aki's not going to play. Max Aline's not going to play. Husanov is out, probably, you would think. So that is pretty bang on, I think. Nunez is basically a lock for right back. Left back is where it gets interesting because if you want to bring Nico G in, maybe you move O'Reilly back to left back. If you want to keep Aït-Nouri at left back, you might have to take out O'Reilly from the lineup and play Nico G if you want. I don't know. Who's out for 10 days with a concussion? Okay. Yeah, I mean, he got absolutely smacked. Like an outrageous knock is what I'll call it. It was more than an incredible knock. It was an outrageous knock. Thanks, Wolves, for giving us world-class fullbacks. That is true. Both of our fullbacks are former Wolves players. That is funny. I do think Aït-Nouri starts at left back. I thought he was awesome against Liverpool. He provides so much pace, so much positivity going forward. I just think it was awesome. It was really, really good. So that's what I would like to see. Then you get to the more difficult areas of the field. Louis says no Rodri. Does anyone else not want to play Rodri in this one? Because I'm assuming Rodri plays. I feel like that's a fair assumption to make. Maybe we don't, but I feel like Rodri plays, Bernardo plays. I don't know, guys. Haaland obviously plays. You could potentially do without one of Marmoush and Semenyo. I think I would take Semenyo out, personally. Apparently, the medical team said to Pep they need to use salt or something to wake Husa up. Wow, that's crazy. Yeah, I mean, he was out. He was out cold. Like, that happens in football sometimes, in American football, where the dude is just, like, unconscious on the field, and they salt him up, and he gets up. But then, typically just, concussion and out for a week or so. I don't like Marmoush and Semenyo and Haaland. I think one of them needs to come out. But what are the options in terms of players? Can we give Foden a game? Does Foden deserve a start at some point? Like, you know what I mean? Foden should get back in this team at some point. He didn't play at all against Liverpool. Can he come right back in? Reinders potentially plays, maybe. I like the idea of that. Cherky probably deserves a start as well. I pray Nunez never gets knocked down, considering the option we've got for his position at right back. Rico Lewis. Yeah, I don't want to see Rico again. I really don't want to see Rico again, guys. Sadly. Maybe it is fair to give Rodri a break and Nico Gonzalez comes in. But if that is the case, you probably play Bernardo. And it's more like this 4-2-2 that we have run. Probably. Unless you go... And then is this player O'Reilly, or do we go more attacking in a way? I don't know. Tijani had one of his best games versus Fulham. Did he score in that game? I feel like Tijani deserves a start. So if we go like Tijani here, Tijani Reinders there, and then Cherky here. Is that fair? And then Marmoush maybe? Semenyo has basically played every single game since he's been signed. Bar the one he was ineligible to play in. Donnarumma made a great save, but was the core of all of our issues and caused the first goal. I don't get the hype. I think Spartacus, to be fair, he was very, very poor passing the ball out the back. However, what other keeper in the world makes that save? I feel like it's not many. The first goal as well, even if we have a better wall, how many keepers get there on that free kick from Szoboszlai? I feel like no one. I don't know that for sure, but it feels that way. It feels like Donnarumma is one of the few who can make the save against McAllister on the deflection. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe there's other keepers out there that can do it. But he's just so massive, and he was at absolute full stretch. And then the free kick, maybe he builds a poor wall. Maybe. But if you remember, like a month ago, Michael Owen was saying on those long free kicks, don't even put a wall because it helps the keeper. So I don't know what to believe. The two-man wall, probably not great. But that free kick was insane. I just think no keeper in the world gets that free kick. At all. I just think it doesn't happen. It's like picture perfect. Who opened Pandora's box? The better wall doesn't allow that shot to get to goal. I get maybe. I don't know that for sure. I think probably not. But again, it was an absolute just banger goal. Sorry, guys. No keeper saves that. I also didn't play soccer, football growing up. So, like, how much is on the keeper? How much is on exactly where they are positioned? It's probably on the keeper, the wall. So, maybe Donnarumma gets the fault there. But he also makes up for it with an amazing save. If Aït-Nouri starts, then O'Reilly has to start. The team feels more balanced when both of them play together. Okay. Dola Pisani. Where does O'Reilly come in, though? That's my question. I feel like Tijani needs to play. Nico deserves a start. Bernardo was amazing, man of the match. Cherky, we want to play. What do? That's where it gets difficult. Foden as well has a shout to start. Didn't play the last game. Hmm. This is where it gets difficult. I feel you. I would love to start Nico O'Reilly. I really would like to start him. But I don't know where to put him. Unless you just take out Bernardo or Tijani. I, mm, Nico hasn't been given enough minutes lately, so I think Nico needs to start. And I'm with you. O'Reilly starting would be great because he's been really good. Reinders was very good against Newcastle. Didn't play this one. Cherokee was good. Can he play? Probably. Oblak, Neuer, Courtois, Jean Garcia all make that save at the end. He is out of position for the shot and not able to generate power with his right leg, so it makes the save look better, harder. I think, so Articus, I think Donnarumma could make the greatest save ever made, and I think you'd find something that you don't like, man. It's okay. If you don't like Donnarumma, it's okay. Maybe you're right. Maybe those other keepers make it, and it's easier for sure. But man, I was thrilled with the save. I don't see Nico G starting with Tijani or O'Reilly. I think Nico G is better suited next to Bernardo with O'Reilly and Bernardo already starting central. Recently, Nico G seems wasted over Rodri in that setup. Maybe, yeah, I don't know. It's very difficult. You get to the point where like we've actually got some players back from injury, and we have options now. So I don't know. Hey, all things football has entered the chat. It says, yo, Bernardo could do with a rest. After that game, Penguins in the chat. What up? Bernardo just got man of the match and just had a whole 20-minute rant on how important I think he is to the team. I don't know if I can take him out. No, I said he was great at other games. I just don't agree with the glaze he's been getting. Okay. Maybe, man. I don't know. Wouldn't mind a Bernardo rest. He's deserved one, but it's a big risk. I mean, it is just Fulham. We should rest Bernardo. Fulham have a good team, though. I say it's just Fulham, but, like, they're good. All right, so we've agreed as a chat, as a community, to rest Bernardo for this one. Does that mean it just is Nico O'Reilly? Like this? And then you swap these dudes around? Or do you want Rodri in with him? Yeah, we should rest Bernardo. The 4-2-2 has been working. I agree. I think he deserves a rest. It's just Fulham for getting the 5-4. I know. I apologize. That was disrespectful. I should not have said just Fulham. Fulham are actually very good. However, we had that game dominated, and they scored some banger goals, man. So, like, I feel like the 5-4 is a bit skewed because some of those goals were insane. I like this. I think 2 days out, I'm happy with this prediction at the moment, and I will roll with this heading into tomorrow. Maybe we'll change our mind if we see the press conference and it turns out some random person has been injured and whatnot. Yeah, Fulham at home, pick Nico G. What's your stream schedule, mate? I don't get notified. I'm having a good time. So, Leo, I have a Discord where I post all the times I'm going to stream. So, let me put the Discord link in, and you can join it if you would like. I try to stream every weekend Prem game. I do. And then I try to stream Monday nights for sure. I typically stream on Wednesday on Mancunian Way because we have a little United States panel over there on Mancunian Way. And then I try to get another stream in throughout the week. I'm not like an every night streamer yet. At some point I will be, but not currently. But I always stream on Monday, typically. I do stream on Monday. But if anyone is interested in Discord, they can join it right there. It's free. There's like, I don't know, 35, 40 people in there. We just kind of chop it up about City every day, all day. So join that if you're interested. O'Reilly alongside Nico G. I do like that. Anyway, it is Monday night, and it's 8:30 here in the U.S. I have a evening date with my wife to watch some TV. So we also talk about TV shows in the Discord as well. Side note for shout out to the Discord. It's very fun. So if you join it, you can give me movie and TV show suggestions as always. Yeah, no problem, Leo. No problem. No problem. Massive changes for Salford. Absolutely. Been Eeping of better takes. Of course, of course. So that is it for this evening stream. I do appreciate everybody. If you are new, hit like, hit subscribe. We're on the road to 1,000 subs, guys. 1,000 subs. So any help towards that, always, always appreciated. And I will be back. Probably no stream tomorrow, but potentially. Well, no, we'll see. I might be on Tarek's channel tomorrow. He's got a stream, and I might hop on there. So anyway, appreciate everybody. I will